And we're back here in Inside the Ropes, and I'm joined by the one and only NXT UK's own Piper Niven. How are you?
Tired. It's very early in the morning, but good.
Are you a morning person?
No, I'd say I'm definitely a night owl.
So, like, what?
Unless breakfast is involved.
What's your breakfast of choice?
Cocoa Pops. Breakfast of champions, obviously.
Not like a full Scottish breakfast?
Well, I mean, you can have that as like second breakfast, but first breakfast has always got to be Cocoa Pops.
Fair.
Or, you know, non-brand alternatives.
How do you feel about white chocolate Cocoa Pops?
I've not tried them. I don't know.
I've heard they're horrific.
I heard too many bad things. I don't think I'm going to attempt them. I think, you know, original and true Cocoa Pops.
There was that Prime Target special, which obviously covered you a lot, was great, and it was like, those are the things that get people into characters. How was it for you being able to really kind of show off your character to everybody on YouTube, on the network, in the build up to the match?
It's been nice because I think up until this point it's been mostly, you know, in-ring stuff, and not that I haven't had a chance to let my character out, but it was just nice to get, you know, time to focus on more stuff like that instead of just stuff that was in-ring or, you know, in-ring promos or stuff like that, you know. So it was nice to actually have like a sit down and speak from the heart, which I think is something I'm really good at and let people see, because I think people kind of, especially fans in NXT UK, might not understand like there is another side of me. Like, I think there's a great strength in being soft and allowing to show certain weaknesses and vulnerability that do make you humanised to people and things like that. So I think it was nice for people to see that side of me and get to know me a bit better as well. So I thought it was great.
And I mean, when you come into the match, this is now like 3 years since Blackpool started for NXT UK, essentially with the UK tournament. It's come really far, because now like NXT UK is getting to be part of like pay-per-views in the US, and there's a Worlds Collide. I mean, what's been the strangest part of this whole journey for you so far? Strangest part?
Let me have a think about that. That's a good question. The strangest part of the journey. Do you know what I think it is, actually? I think it's been the biggest underdog. I'm really strong and everything. Like, I've only ever in NXT UK taken a pin from Rhea Ripley, who's now NXT Women's Champ, so there's no shame in that. But yeah, I still feel like, you know, I'm fighting from the bottom in this situation, but everybody loves an underdog, so I don't really feel like there's anything wrong with that.
And you know, you would never know it unless you actually were following you on social media and knew, but you were sort of really brave enough to say publicly that you had got Bell's palsy about a month ago, got really kind words from Jim Ross and stuff. I mean, you look great, you would never know. How tough was that to kind of overcome? Because I mean, that must be something to really kind of take in.
You know, it was I'm not going to be shy in saying it was terrible. It was really awful. Most people get really lucky with Bell's palsy and it's not painful. I spent 3 solid weeks in absolute agony. It was debilitatingly painful. Mine was caused by a tooth infection, and I had to get the tooth pulled out, which was hard because it just crumpled to bits, and even when I was coming into the office today, my gum's still spitting out shards of bone, and they just all on my face. It felt like I'd been repeatedly punched in the face, and that on top of it having a tooth pulled out as well, it was just so sore. I couldn't eat for weeks. I couldn't do anything. I was just in absolute crippling agony all the time, and then on top of the actual physical pain, it was, you know, not to sound vain, but I thought I'm in the public eye, and I'm always going to look like this. I didn't know if it was going to go back to normal or if it would ever get better. And then I recently got engaged, and I thought, I'm going to look like this on my wedding day and stuff. But in saying that, just a few short days after it had happened, I had a One Fall Session show back home in Scotland, and I thought about, should I cancel it? Should I not do it? And I thought, with the message I've always tried to put out there in my wrestling about loving yourself and being happy with who you are and not being ashamed of yourself, I thought, if I don't do this now, I'd be an absolute hypocrite. I'd be a complete hypocrite. And do you know, I went and I felt really comfortable because I knew all those people were there to see me, you know, and they, like, it just felt like I was going to the show and hanging out with my mates and saying, oh yeah.
And was it cool to, like, you know, for Jim Ross especially, because he's went through it in a very sort of severe way, to kind of send you some words of encouragement?
It really was, because I didn't think I was worried about, you know, what might happen to me in the industry with it and things like that, but it was good to know that, you know, there was people pulling for me and kind of saying, oh, you know, don't worry about it, it's something you'll get through, and you know, if you need to wrestle with an eye patch, you need to wrestle with an eye patch, it's fine.
I mean, so far in being in WWE, what's been the strangest like interaction that you've had? Like, has there been like a superstar that you've bumped into that you just thought, this is mad, or has there been just any interaction that's strange?
I think all of them are a little bit strange, but one of them like that really is at the forefront of my memory was Takeover Cardiff, and the way that the kind of the way that we would enter the venue was set up. It crossed perpendicular to the women's locker room, and as I was making my way back to the women's locker room, Triple H walked through the door, and I kind of stopped him. It's like, there's no way to go, hi. But he was super lovely, and he was like, oh, it's great to see you here, and we're going to tear the roof off this place this week. And I was just like, I don't say that.
Smooth.
No, I'm not. Smooth like a cheese grater, me.
And with now the opportunities to be able to, you know, face different brands in WWE, like NXT UK versus NXT, or go to Survivor Series at some point, is there any kind of other women in WWE that are not in NXT UK that you think, put me in there with them and we would have just like a great match?
Shayna. Definitely Shayna.
Why?
Because I think it's something that's a bit different, you know, like I really like Clash of Styles. I think it's the differences in people's styles that create the best matches. That's not to say, like, I think I have fun matches with bigger girls, you know, horse battles and stuff like that, but then how much fun do I have throwing a flyer around the place and stuff like that, whereas Shayna's with her submissions and stuff, I think it would be something a bit different and something that's not in my wheelhouse. So I don't know, maybe I'm just like, oh, that would be a challenge. But I definitely think it'd be something that'd be really interesting, and then also it'd just be really good to be up for my women's champ.
And last thing, because I was watching the Prime Target special, and Joe Coffey had admitted that the thing that got him into pro wrestling was the Big Boss Man versus Nails, the technical classic that it was. Was there a match or a character that you remember getting you into wrestling?
Undertaker. It was the Undertaker. I remember it so vividly. It's probably one of my most vivid wrestling memories. I was sick home from school, and you know, like Cartoon Network used to change to TNT at night, and I was like, oh, this is rubbish, and I was going flick, 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 and I saw Undertaker, and I don't even remember who the guy was. I feel so sorry for him. He lifted him up, threw him down, bang, and he doing all the eyes and and all that stuff, and I was like, oh. And then that was me, like, completely hooked on wrestling. I was just like, that is the best thing, and Undertaker was really the person that really swept me up in it, and for years and years he was mine and my dad's favourite wrestler, and we'd be like, Undertaker's Undertaker, shut up, and then he would come on, and then as soon as his match was done, then just like all out chaos ensued in the living room, and people were getting tombstoned on the couch and stuff like that.
Well, before I get tombstoned, I'm going to let you go. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.